the meeting to order. It's the Rules and Open Government Committee meeting for January 25th, and all 4 members are present. So we will start reviewing the agenda for January 31st. All right, starting with ceremonial items and consent calendar on page 5.
I want to note that under ceremonial items, we're going to add the oath of office for the newly appointed council members.
Okay, great. So we'll just include that in the, well, we don't have to put those in the motion.
You don't need to. I just wanted to make sure it was noted.
Okay, page 6 and 7, consent. Page 8, consent. Page 9, page 8 also strategic support. And then item 3.4 on page 10, on page 9, report on citywide security guard services. That one.
The administration would like to request a deferral. We'd bring that back and showcase what date that is on the next Horizon report.
Okay.
Yes, and we will have a closed session conversation about it.
All right, nothing in section 4 or section 5. Environmental section 6, stormwater permit. And then section 7, neighborhood services, gang prevention task force, and a new park at Alma and Sanborn. Section 8, community and economic development, community block grant, loan commitment for new affordable housing. 2 items on that, 8.2 and 8.3. And then on land use, we have another item that's being deferred. And then we have an ad sheet for January 31st. So we'll move on to public comment.
Paul Soto.
Good afternoon, Council. Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. I'd like to talk about how stacked these agendas are. This is what's going to happen. I can already see the purview, so let's just deal with it here at this point. These agendas are getting stacked. We don't have time. Only 1 minute. This is a stifling and a suppression of the democratic process, because public comment is probably one of the most critical points of these meetings. And to say that we have to enter these spaces with the premise that the government is not to be trusted, there's absolutely no reason why the citizenry should trust the government. That's why we have a democracy, demos kratis, the power of the people. We have these public meetings so that we, the citizens, can check the power of the government, because the government will exercise unmitigated force and power against the citizenry without the check of the citizenry on the government. These are basic principles of democracy. With that said, I am asking if these agendas can produce and be strategized so that the amount of public comment is always a principle that you're serving when you're creating these agendas. That's one. Number 2, I want to know the process by which the process that is engaged to determine what goes on consent and what doesn't go on consent. That needs to be a public process. The public and citizenry needs to be able to challenge, hey, wait a minute, who's the one that decides what goes on consent and what doesn't? I mean, no, that in itself should be part of the public process. So those are my 2 contentions, and I look forward to a productive meeting. Thank you.
Jill Borders.
Hi, thank you. Yes, this is Jill Borders. I'm in District 10. I actually have a similar comment in a way. I just wanted to quickly make a comment about these items on 10.1 versus just 10, the whole land use item. I have felt particularly confused by when I should show up at the very beginning of the meeting, and if that land use item is in there, or why it's on consent versus why it's not and wait until later. So in general, all of last year, I found myself confused every time. Oh no, it's here, I wanted to comment here. So I'm wondering if there could be something done to make it much more understandable why some of the land use items are going on the consent calendar, considering especially its land use. And I think that in general, the last 10 years, we've seen that we're moving in an entirely different, or a, not different, but a direction that land use is becoming a very hot topic for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of state laws that have come up. There are a lot of city ordinances that have been affected, et cetera, and a lot of land use changes made. So I really would like to see a little more clarity around this whole land use consent versus land use regular, when and why, so that it's easy for me to understand and for the public to comment. Thanks.
Back to the committee.
All right, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
So that'll be the motion would be including the agenda
Yes.
with the
Add
add
sheet.
sheet. Okay.
And the deferral for 3.4.
And the deferral of 3.4. Great. All right, we'll move to a vote.
Vote is unanimous.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. So we'll move on to the agenda for Tuesday, February 7th. Consent calendar starts on page 6. And there are 3 items on consent. And then section 3, strategic support, just the basics. Nothing yet on sections 4, 5, 6. Section 7, neighborhood services, Lake Cunningham report. Community and economic development, section 8, weed abatement report. And that is it for this agenda on February 7th so far. Well, let's go to public comment and then we'll.
Paul Soto.
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. Just to note, as a part of the record, council members can comment on public comment. We can't have a debate, but any issues that are raised by the public, please feel free to, kind of expand or maybe elaborate or maybe give a sense of where you're at on the issue that was raised. That is a part of democracy and it is allowed. There's no law against that. And if there was a law against that, I think we need to put that on the record and then ask why. Why can we not do that? Because with the Fallon statute, you guys could ask Tom McHenry to come right up. There was much questioning back and forth. So it is allowed. And we saw it demonstrated in that meeting. So please feel free, I encourage you to expand or maybe give your position on things that are brought up in public comment, because you're making decisions that affect the context in which I live. I mean, don't you think that you have a responsibility to answer to some of the things and challenges that your policies and the policies that you create, you literally answer to us, not the district. That's something separate. You answer to the citizens of San Jose. I'm one of them. Secondly, you can get items from that past agenda and you can add them to this one. I mean, look at this one. This is good. It's going to be very quick. But there are items on that other agenda that is going to create a kind of these items are going to be crammed, and that's going to be a long meeting. You know it, and I know it. I've been doing this for 5 years, every single day. So I know what that agenda, that last one that you guys approved, is going to do. So what I'm suggesting, Chair, is if you can make those notations prior to the meeting and just make adjustments. You've been doing this for a while.
Back to the committee.
All right, we had a motion from Councilmember Davis, a second from Councilmember Foley. Let's vote. All right, motion carries 4-0. So that brings us to the consent calendar. There are 5 items on consent. We'll go to public comment.
Paul Soto. All right, back to the committee.
All right.
Sorry, Jill Borders.
Hi, thank you. I'm actually going to make my comment here because I could not discern whether or not my issue falls into one of these work plans. I was a little confused again. I apologize. So cut me off if it needs to go into open forum. I'll understand. My comment is just around the importance of remembering that the mobile home park land use changes that need to be budgeted for this year. I don't know if that's in the Neighborhood Services and Education Committee or the work plan for there's several work plans in here, so I feel like it might be in one of them, so I just don't want to miss it. But I want to make sure that this time around, this year, it is not overlooked by accident, that there needs to be a budgeted item for the 13 mobile home parks that were agreed to be changed this year. I actually would love it if we could find a way to do all the parks. I think that there is room to have always a consideration of changes made when there's an entirely new set of people coming in and look at that possibility. Anyway, so I'm just hoping that we can remember that the mobile home park land use designations need to be changed and that we're counting on you to remember this time and to find a line item budget that fits in one of these work plans to make it happen. So I apologize if it wasn't the right place, but I wasn't sure. Thank you.
All right, Paul Soto.
Thank you. Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. Language. Racism doesn't exist on the streets by telling a person that they can't come into the restaurant. That's overt racism. Subversive racism is when you continue to use racist language that we've already established should be excised from city language. Mayor's Gang Task Force on the last agenda was still there. We already decided as a city that that is going to change, that name. But yet in the last agenda, you still included it. So there's this real subtle racism. We're going to keep being racist and oppressive towards this population.
Paul, is this related to the consent calendar?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because we're talking about PISPIS. PISPIS is on your consent calendar, is it not?
No, we're
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, we do. Sorry, I missed that one. Yes, go ahead.
So I think I know a little bit more about my agendas than you do, because I'm the one that reads them. You obviously don't. So thank you. PISPIS, on April 20th or April 3rd, you have a meeting. You still have not excised that racist language that's in there. You're still calling these hotspots when they're actually called opportunity zones. You guys need to catch up. I study this 24/7. I'm in these documents. And you continually use racist language in order, you guys got genocide on your mind, but now it's just done with manners. Now, I know, look, Chair, I know that your motives are consistent with governing, but you have to understand and be able to exercise enough humility to accept the check from the people. I'm concerned about this language. Get the language of Mayor's Gang Task Force out of the last agenda and get these hotspot language out of that PISPIS meeting that Mahan and Jimenez produced and start using opportunity zones in the.
All right, back to the committee.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Foley.
Thank you. I just want to reference or respond to a comment made about the mobile home parks. That does come before CED. We had our work plan adopted, but there's budget items as was suggested, and it will be coming forward for a budget enhancement, hopefully in the next few months. But we haven't lost it. It's on our radar.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for consent. All right, that passes 4-0. So now we're on to open forum.
Call in user 1.
Yes, hi, Martha O'Connell, Golden State Manufactured Homeowners League Regional Manager representing mobile home park residents. Yes, thank you for that, Pam. It is on your agenda. I wanted to point out that every single one of you voted on October 18th to make this happen. We need some budget memos to go forward. I believe they're coming out. You can do them in March. We need this money allocated. I had a verbal commitment both from Matt Mahan and Cindy Chavez. I met with both of them prior to the election, and both of them said that they would push this forward to get the 13 parks designated. So I call upon you, whoever you're Brown acted with. I know that Sergio is the liaison to the Housing Commission, and he and his staff member, Dylan, have reported several times that this is on their radar and they want to make this happen this year. And I know Pam Foley has been extremely supportive. So if Sergio and Pam, if you're Brown acted together, I would love to see a MBA go forward for the money to do this. And I encourage you to review the Esparza memo, which points out we don't need a whole bunch of outreach because this has been going on for years and years and years, and we know what the mobile home community wants. So please make this happen. Thank you.
Paul Soto.
Paul Soto on the horseshoe, raising the flag statue. This is going to go down in San Jose history, Chicano history, San Jose history, California history, and United States history. This event, it's going to catch nationwide news. You know that, and I know that. The entire nation is going to be focused on that statue at that time. What I'm asking you is to give me a concrete date. When concrete, because we want to be there as a citizenry to watch this. The city of San Jose states explicitly, we are not racist. We are not racist. Well, then prove it. The genocide that flowed from the placement of that statue is exactly the same as the Jewish Holocaust. There was a California Holocaust, a Native American Holocaust. That needs to go on record. Peter Burnett's house is only 2 blocks down from placement of that statue. I know my history and I know what went on here downtown. So what I am saying is that the Chicano and Mexican community, considering all of the oppressions, all of the systems of racism, both overt, subtle, and covert, that have continually created systems that deprived us of citizenry, of generational wealth, and of the ability just to have our own identity in a city that we helped build. I am asking you to ensure that my community is informed of the exact date and time when that happens so that we can be there to witness it. Thank you.
Blair Beekman.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks for the words of Paul. I think Paul's voice is sounding pretty good these days. I think it's sounding pretty interesting. Paul's been mentioning, you know, he's gotten such a bad rap over the past few years for just offering public comment time. And I hope we all work, you know, that Paul doesn't have to be treated as something of a criminal. We shouldn't be working that way with Paul. He needs to be treated with respect. I hope we can learn how to do that together, all of us. And I'm trying to learn the same skills as well, to be just somewhat respectable in the open forum process. As goofy and as silly as I can be sometimes, I'd still like to try to be as respectful as possible and learn how to do that. And just thank you for all the years that I have been able to do that here in San Jose. And I hope we can continue that sort of good work. And I hope Paul can be, the same can happen with Paul, and it should. He really deserves it. I wanted to mention from the meeting yesterday that that you did, it was a special study session meeting. It should have had public comment at the very end of the meeting. I just wanted to offer some nice words that, you know, I hope that we're considering, I felt it would be important to offer that, you know, the good work that we do in 23, it's that idealism and hope that we offer, that I think we're all prepared for a good 24 and 25, that, you know, we don't have to be so dour and down on each other in what to expect with in 23 because we have good hopes for 24 and 25 as a whole community process. So good luck what we can do with our work. And thanks for your time today.
Jill Borders.
Hi, thank you. Jill Borders again here in the Imperial Estates Mobile Home Park off of Winfield and Blossom Hill. And I'm giving you that location because of its proximity to the District 9, as you know, Councilmember Foley, the District 9 line where the fish market is poised to become a new affordable housing high rise, not high rise, but 4 stories, whatnot there. I just wanted to make a comment that despite speaking almost, I guess it was maybe 7 or 8 months ago to the owner of that property and him assuring me that he would call the maintenance people to have the weeds pulled out because they were about 4 feet high. That was done. I was really grateful. But my issue now is that what he said would happen hasn't happened. And there are now RVs parking there and other people parking there. And I don't begrudge any RVs parking there at all. I have no problem with that. I've made that very clear. In fact, it's actually probably a pretty great place for them. But what it tells me is that what he thought was happening, which was that there was going to be a fence put up around the property in June, and the work was going to start, that's not starting. So I just thought maybe I'd touch base with you and find out whether or not that affordable housing unit is still being planned to be built. We all try hard to stay up on these things and support them when we can and ask questions, and then nothing happens. So it's very frustrating for everybody, I think, who wants to see housing get built. And the last thing is on a very positive note, and I was happy to see it, is that I was going through Oak Ridge Mall the other day and saw the storefront for the San Jose Police Department. It just looked fabulous. And it just gave me that feeling of energy and change and movement in the right direction. And I just wanted to share that. It felt like, oh, something new. We're taking advantage of these storefronts with people that are passing by to let people know that the SJPD is hiring. So it looked great. Thanks.
Back to the committee.
All right, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.